All right. Welcome everybody to today's webinar on financial planning. Today is December 12th, 2024. Okay. There we go. All right, just some housekeeping for today. We're going to be starting off right off the bat with Rena Ryan from STEP. She's going to be talking to you a little bit about financial planning and some resources that you can use to help along the way. Once she's done, we will go into a quick overview of CalTAP and what we're all about and how we help out veterans, and talk to you a little bit about the local interagency network coordinators. After that, we'll have a quick question and answer session. Just to let you know, the chat will be shut down. This is because as we are going through some of our slides, my colleague Janet Adams will be in the background putting resources into the chat for you to download. And we don't want your questions to get lost in those resources. So if you do have any questions for any of the presenters, please use that questions and answers feature that is provided through Zoom. That way we can answer those questions right off the bat if we can, or we could save them for the questions and answers portion at the end of the event. With that being said, I do want to bring Rena Ryan on and have her introduce herself. She is from Support the Enlisted Project, and she's here to talk to you a little bit about financial literacy. So go ahead, Rena, when you're ready.
Thank you. Yeah, so as Michael said, my name is Rena Ryan. I'm with Support the Enlisted Project, also known as STEP. Slide says it, financial literacy, but more importantly, talking about identifying and achieving your financial goals. Next slide, Michael. So about myself, I am the social work supervisor at STEP. I oversee all of our other social workers who are working one-on-one with our military clients, both active duty and veterans. I have a master's of social work. I'm also a certified personal finance counselor and a certified financial social worker. And I'm also a Navy veteran and now a active duty military spouse. And one last little plug about me. My son just finished his A school, so now I'm also a Navy mom. So I've got like the trifecta. But I'm excited to be here today to talk to you guys about finances and steps you can take to achieving your financial goals. Next slide. So financial literacy. We're all pretty familiar with the basics, things like pay your bills on time and don't spend more than you make. But those kind of statements or advice don't necessarily get to the basics of it. The most basic part of financial literacy is knowing your money and how you use it, both what you have coming in and going out. Everything from auto pay to subscriptions. Sometimes, you might think, oh, my grocery budget or bill is, 350, but then you start looking at it and you're like, but then I forget things and it turns into 375 or 400. And then also understanding how your use of your money impacts your financial wellness. And this really boils down to, is your money going towards what you want it to go to? Is it part of the way that you use your money, part of how you value different aspects of your life? And then all of that kind of plays into identifying your financial goals. And once you can identify your financial goals, you can start creating a plan for yourself to achieve those goals. Next slide. So, what is a personal finance plan? This is a little bit different than like financial planning, where somebody might talk to you about like long-term financial growth or life insurance or planning for retirement or to send children to college. This is a personal finance plan for step by step how you will reach your financial goals. But before you start building that plan, you need to know where you're starting from, where you're going, the steps that you're going to take to get there. And then, of course, just like if you were planning a road trip, adjusting for detours and bumps in the road. Things happen. Even the best of plans can get, knocked off course from just life events. Next slide. So step one, knowing your money. And this is getting really up close and intimate with your finances, your income, all sources of your income. Some income is easily measurable, like your paycheck or VA disability compensation, or maybe you're using a GI Bill chapter, so you're getting a monthly stipend from that. Um, Sometimes finances or income that you might be receiving may not be so easily labeled as, that's $1,000 or $100. Things like WIC, that doesn't necessarily have a dollar sign attached to it, but it is a source of income. And then next, you need to name your spending. Give everything a category. This is probably the hardest part of all of it. It's one thing to start looking through bank statements and looking at bills, and you've got your utilities and any credit card statements, but also all of that miscellaneous spending needs to be given a category rather than just $10 at Walmart, $20 here. As you categorize it, it helps give you that large month by month picture. And you might find out you have more money going to one spot or one category than you originally thought. After you get all of this categorized, all of your spending categorized, you're going to list all of your monthly bills and those regular expenses. And then you need to gather the information on your debts, everything from your car payment all the way to anything that you might possibly have in collections. There's great resources for finding out if you have something hidden on your credit report, but finding out what that balance is, what the payment is, what the due dates are. Uh, Another common one is finding out whether or not you have like a auto pay connected to that credit card, because your minimum monthly payment might be $40, but you're not seeing any progress on paying that down because you also have 2 or 3 subscriptions attached to that credit card. And then, of course, the interest that you're being charged each month on that credit card, especially recently, because due to inflation and the Fed's increasing interest rates, you've probably seen an increase on your interest being charged to you and what your APR is. Next slide. So after you do the really hard work of identifying what you've got coming in and what you've got going out, the next step is to identify what your financial goal or goals are. And this is the where do you want to go? Where do you want to end up after you do all of this hard work and start enacting your financial plan? Next slide. So I encourage you to ask yourself some hard questions. What do you like about your finances? I'm sure that there might be at least one thing about your finances that you do like, even if it's something as simple as I know exactly how much I have coming in each month. What stresses you out about your finances? This is different for everyone. I've seen people who have tons of income. They have a strong, healthy income, but they also have a lot of debt. So each month, making sure that they get those minimum payments in stresses them out. What is working for you? What is it that you're doing with your finances that works for you? What is your method for making sure bills are paid each month? How do you keep track of how much you have in your accounts? And what isn't working for you? We try different things with our finances. Has there been something that's worked really well or something that you've tried that was just a complete flop? Identifying that helps give you a path forward. And then, more importantly, what is it you want to see change about your finances? Change can be a scary word. So if you need to opt in for a different word, you could say, what do you want to see? What do you want to do different with your finances? What would you like to adjust within your finances? We're not talking about big dramatic change in the next 30 days. It's small change, something small. What is something that you could change about your finances in the next 30 days that might alleviate some of that financial stress you're experiencing? Next slide. So everybody's got different goals and they all look different to each person. No two people have the exact same finances. Even if you two people have the same family makeup and same compensation levels with their VA disability or their active duty, and they're both the same rank with the same time in service. Even if on paper it looks the same, no two people are exactly the same, and neither are their finances. So their goals are going to be different too. For some people, it might be as something as simple as I want to be able to make sure I can pay all my bills each month. Or it might be something huge and say, I want to be able to buy a house in the next 2 years. And then there's a ton in between. These are just some example goals that tend to be common amongst our clients with some tweaks. One that I think might be a little bit appropriate for the season is saving up for Christmas. We are currently 13 days away. Um, Others are building an emergency fund, maybe reduce some impulse buying or shopping, stop overdrafting bank accounts, or improve your credit score. Next slide. So when building up a goal, I like to use SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. So sticking with the holiday theme, I just kind of threw in a sample or an example of what a SMART goal might look like. So if somebody might start off with saying, I want to be better prepared for Christmas next year. Getting Christmas taken care of this year was stressful, and I don't want to go through that again. I want to make sure that my family can have a good Christmas. So that kind of starts off with you want to save up for Christmas or a holiday fund. That's getting specific. What is this money for? Measurable. How will you know that you have reached your goal? $500, $1,000. It might be I want to save enough so I can spend $200 on each person that I'm shopping for, or something as small as $50. Um, Actionable means what steps are you going to take to get you closer to this goal month over month or pay period over pay period. For this one, I just put reducing monthly shopping expenses. Like I said, everybody's different. So this might mean somebody might say I'm going to reduce how much I spend each month on just miscellaneous shopping, or they might say I'm going to cut subscriptions. I haven't watched, Netflix in 3 months. I'm going to cut that out. Or they might say, I'm gonna try to reduce my transportation costs. Making it realistic is kind of in the name. You wouldn't say, I'm gonna save $1,000 a month if you don't have $1,000 left over at the end of each month. But maybe something smaller, $100 a month for 10 months. And then timely. When do you need this goal achieved by? Since we're speaking Christmas, you wouldn't say, January of 2026 might be a little bit late. But you want to also make sure that you have enough saved up so you can take advantage of the holiday shopping season. So I put October 2025. That's usually when I start my Christmas shopping. Some people, I've done it before, wait till the last minute and don't shop until about December 20th. Never doing that again. Next slide. So you've you've identified your finances. You're ready to start building that plan. You've got a goal formulated. How do you stay motivated? How do you keep yourself on track with reaching that goal? So think of one time when you were closer to your goal. Have you tried reaching this goal before? How did you get there? What is something that you do now with your money that works for you? And how can you do more of that? What is something you can do this month to accomplish this goal? For the goal of holiday fund, maybe not this month, but maybe in January, what's something you could do to get yourself closer? And then how can you make sure that you will reach your goal? This one's a hard one. That's that commitment and motivation piece. And it doesn't necessarily have to be finances. It might be something like I've got to remind myself each month that while yes, I'm abstaining from shopping, within this limit, it's going to be better for it at the end because then I'll have reached my goal. And maybe the Christmas stress or the holiday season stress will be just a little bit less. What is it that you need to remind yourself? What is it that you need to do in order to help keep yourself motivated and committed? Veterans have reached tons of goals within their lives. Not all of them are financial, but how did you reach that goal? How did you stay committed to it and stay motivated? Because that's hard. It's easy to do something for 30 days. How do you do something for 6 months, a year, even longer? Think back to a time when you've achieved a goal and think of how you actually did that. Next slide. So, the third step, what are your resources? Um, Step, support the enlisted project. We're a resource, but you also have resources. We call them informal resources. These are your own personal resources that you can rely on or tap into in order to help you reach this goal. So think, what do you have control over? I don't have a ton of control over my gas bill. I can lower my temp in my house. I can wash my clothes on cold. But beyond making myself and all of my children take cold showers, I don't have a ton of control over my gas bill. What do you have control over? What about entertainment expenses, other personal expenses, clothing, grocery shopping? Those are some things that you have control over. And think, what can I do different with these expenses I have to help me get closer to my goal? What can I do different so I have more of my income to throw at this goal? Another area that a lot of people overlook. Are you leaving money on the table? Tax withholding in your taxes? Are you speaking to a tax professional to make sure that you're maximizing your refund? If you have a regular employment income, are you withholding at the correct rate? I'd say on a weekly basis, I speak with people who might be like a family of four, and on their tax withholding, they are at the single rate, meaning they're paying the maximum that they can each month to tax withholding. And that might work for some people. Some people like a really large refund, and then they use that to really get a jump start on what it is that they want to do with their finances. That's great. If that works for you, does that help you get closer to your goals? If not, maybe consider adjusting your withholding so you have more at the end of each month. And another one is shop pricing. Um, Having the same insurance provider, talking to your internet provider and seeing if you can get a better rate. Let's see, some of the ones that you can shop is insurance, internet, your phone, um, maybe you have other types of services, monthly services that you might be able to get a better rate on. If you're struggling with debt, try negotiating with your creditors. Just call up each and every single one. Some credit card companies and lenders have hardship programs where they'll reduce your interest for 12-month periods. Sometimes they might be able to bring it all the way down to 0% for 12 months. Navy Federal, I've seen them do that in the past. It's different for each person and each lender. But I encourage everybody who's struggling with any type of debt to negotiate with the creditors. And can you increase your income? Sometimes, if you're on a fixed income because you've got your VA disability compensation or you're using your GI Bill or a combination of those, maybe increasing income might be limited to you. Maybe it'd be more appropriate for you to work towards decreasing expenses. And then are there others who can assist you? There are tons of programs, just like STEP, who do provide emergency financial assistance. And there's also some who you don't have to be in an emergency to receive financial assistance. Start looking for some of those resources as well. Next slide. So then number 4, and this kind of calls back to that SMART goal, determining your pace. For some, it might be full speed ahead. Let's get this done as fast as I possibly can. Others, it might be slow and steady or small changes as I get closer and closer to that goal. And then, of course, step 5, let's implement this plan. Give it a try. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. But the best way to find out if this is going to work is trying it. And then, of course, reevaluate and make adjustments. That's step 6. You got to follow up on your plan. Check in with it when you get paid, when a deposit hits your bank account. Check in on that plan. See what am I supposed to be doing this month? Does this work out? Have I missed something? Do I need to make adjustments? And make those adjustments. There's no you've got to do this the exact same way every month because that's not realistic. We have lives. We're human. Things change. And so it's okay if you need to adjust your plan. Just make sure that you're checking in on it. Next slide. So, resources. I'm going to tell you about some resources. Of course, plug about Support the Enlisted Project. So I want to tell you about our mission. We are committed to improving the financial wellness to combat things like food insecurity, homelessness, mental health conditions. There's a lot of evidence that supports that your finances are connected to your mental health and your physical well-being as well. And of course, the things that compacts into, like suicide and other financial crises and just personal crises. This is interconnected. While STEP focuses on the finances part of it, this is why we do what we do. We provide counseling, education, and financial support to our enlisted service members, veterans, and their families. So what does that look like when you actually reach out to STEP? So you're going to work one-on-one with one of our social workers, like myself or one of my members of my team. And just like steps 1 through 6, that's what we're going to do with you. We're going to work with you to find out what you're facing now, what your goals are, and steps you can take to get yourself closer to your goals and improving your financial wellness. And we work with you for a year, up to a year, as long as you continue to want to work with us. But it's focused on you. It's not a cookie cutter approach. It's individualized. You work one-on-one with your social worker, and we're focused on the steps you want to take to improve your financial wellness. This is open to all veterans and their families nationwide. If you're interested in working with STEP, visit our website. When you get to our website, at the top of the page, it's a big blue button. It says apply for assistance, and that's the way to get started. You don't have to come to an office. We do everything telework over the phone. So we're doing our absolute best to decrease as many barriers so then that way you can improve your financial wellness and reach your financial goals. Next slide. Other resources. Everybody knows about 211, or at least I would hope that you know about 211, but it's a fantastic resource. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Southern California or New Jersey or in North Dakota, you pick up your phone, you dial 211, and you're going to get connected to a live person who can connect you to local resources for multiple needs. Here in Southern California, you can call up 211 and they can help you apply for CalFresh or get you connected to housing resources, and a plethora of things. And that's the same across the nation. Sometimes I have found it does vary state to state and county to county. You can also connect with them online. If you don't necessarily want to pick up a phone and talk to somebody right in the moment, you can go to 211.org and check out what resources are in your local area as well. Next slide. Okay, so Experian, they're the credit reporting company, but they have free resources to help you with obtaining your credit score, managing debt, getting your credit report, and one that I really like, because until I became a certified personal finance counselor, credit reports I don't understand what I'm looking at. And so they've got resources on how to get your credit report for free and how to read it. And they even have a consumer credit advice line, meaning if you are having some difficulties with credit or debt, you can talk to a live person who can give you solid, actionable legal advice. Well, I wouldn't say legal, but like within consumer laws, advice on how to handle that consumer credit and debt. Visit their website. It's a ton of great information. Um, and unfortunately, it's a little bit of a secret. So spread the word that Experience got these resources for you. Next slide. So another website that a lot of people don't know about, mymoney.gov. It's got a ton of resources for things like talking to teenagers about finances, um, or even providing education to teenagers on finances. I'm a mom of a teenager, and it's hard to talk to them sometimes, even if it's about finances. But this is a great resource to help get that conversation started, or to provide them with some of that financial literacy at an early age. They have financial calculators. They have worksheets for you if you want to build your own plan. I was mentioning earlier about identifying all of your expenses and where your money's going. They've got worksheets to help you do that. They've got a spending tracker, checklists for everything from just getting your finances in order to checklists for what needs to happen if you want to try to buy a home. Planning for some of those life events like, having a child, going to college, retiring, and a whole bunch more. It's a fantastic website, and it's completely free. Next slide. Okay, so that's what I have for everybody today. I don't know if we have any questions or anything like that, but this is the best way to get a hold of Step. My email, you can follow us on Facebook. We're on Instagram too, because we're cool and we're hip. And of course, check out our website. There's a whole lot more that Step does than just the financial wellness and finance counseling. Um, Right now, it's the holiday season, so we're doing our holiday Sharing the Joy program, where we work to get military families and veterans connected with donors who want to make sure that they have a fantastic Christmas. I don't know. Do we have any questions? I'm not seeing any.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not sure if questions have come in, but if not, we could definitely hold them for the end. Jana is the one who's monitoring the questions and answers feature.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, if you do see some that come through, feel free to check out the Q&A box and answer them if you'd like to do that. But yeah, thanks for being here today, Rena. I got to say the information that you presented on is super important. And I've at personal experience implementing some of those steps, you gain a ton of insight, valuable insight into your finances. So thanks for being here today and allowing us to hear the information that you're providing.
Thank you for having me. This is I was that E3 who didn't know what the heck they were doing with their finances.
Yeah, hey, I raised my hand too. So, all right. Well, again, I want to thank you, Seth, for being here today to help us out with this presentation. The last part of this presentation, we're just going to talk a little bit about the CalTAP program and what we do and how we help out veterans across the state. My name is Michael Cisneros. I'm a training coordinator with the California Transition Assistance Program. I've been with the program for about 5 years now. Veteran myself, so definitely value this kind of work and being in front of veterans and helping them out with this kind of stuff. This is kind of where we fall in the grand scheme of veteran services. If you think about the federal department and the state department, veteran affairs, that we are the state department of veteran affairs. Under us, we have county departments where you'll find veteran service representatives who can help out with getting in touch with benefits and answering questions. And then you have local service providers like Source to Plowshares, Disabled American Veterans, and American Legion. All these programs and services do provide services to veterans and their family members. Definitely reach out to either level and they can get you connected. This is what our website looks like, calvet.ca.gov. On this website, you can find information about state programs. It can help you find information about your local county veteran service office. And if you're looking for information about the CalTAP program, right there in the middle of the screen is the CalTAP banner. By clicking on that, that will take you to our webpage where you'll find out more about the modules. Before I do talk about those, I do want to bring your attention to the Veterans Resource Book. This is a book that I like to say is like gold for veterans. So everything that we discuss when it comes to veteran benefits, either state or federal, can be found in this book. It talks about the documents that you need to submit for the benefit, where you'll go to submit those documents, eligibility requirements, and it also is going to let you know uh, a breakdown of the different county veteran service offices around the state. You can find hard copies in your CVSOs or on campus in your Veterans Resource Centers. I do got to say these books are running out, so you may not be able to find a hard copy all the time, but you can scan that QR code to find a digital copy. So it'll give you a PDF that you can open up on your computer or on your phone and have that book with you at all times. We are in the process of updating this book, which is the reason why we're not sending the books out anymore, or why it's hard to find. We should have an updated version out hopefully by the beginning of next year. All right, so what is CalTAP? Excuse me. CalTAP is a transition assistance program that's designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their earned state and federal benefits, as well as provide continuous support and assistance as their needs change over time. And so what we've done is we've developed different pathways that help veterans and their family members navigate those different benefits and services that are available to them. So we have an entrepreneurship pathway, an employment pathway, an education pathway, and then there's a core curriculum pathway of benefits and services that don't fit into those topics that I just mentioned. We do also have a service provider pathway. So if you're looking to work with the veteran community, or you know somebody that is looking to work with the veteran community, feel free to send them to our website to find out more information about military culture and what to expect when working with that population. So how do you use CalTAP online? As I mentioned earlier, clicking on that CalTAP banner in the middle of the screen on the home page will take you to our pathways page. This is where you'll find those pathways that I just mentioned. Clicking on that core curriculum pathway is going to take you to the modules page that looks like this. Here you'll find information about the VA healthcare system. There's information about claims and compensation. And if you look down below, you can see the top of a piggy bank. That actually is a module about financial literacy. So you could double click on that and find out more information about what Rena is talking about, and more resources that you could possibly use. So what are those benefits though? The California benefits. One of the main ones that we have is the college tuition fee waiver for child dependents. What this does is it waives the tuition for all state funded schools. So all CSUs, UCs, and California community colleges. There are two stipulations for this benefit. One is the veteran has to have a disability rating between 0 and 100. And then they're also going to be looking at the child's income level. As long as that child's income level stays below the California poverty line, then they can go to any state-funded school for free. If you do have a spouse that wants to use this benefit, that there is a possibility. You just have to see if you qualify for Plan A. There's 4 different plans: Plan A, B, C, and D. Plan A is the only plan that allows you to give this benefit to a spouse. There are also programs with the DMV that make it easier to identify as a veteran. So now you can actually get the word veteran printed on your driver's license. It just makes it so that you don't have to hold that DD Form 214 in your back pocket. There's a lot of sensitive information on that document, and you don't want to lose that. There are also honoring veterans license plate programs and disabled veteran license plate programs with the DMV. Different programs that allow you to waive the fees for fast track. And then there's also a commercial driver's license program called the Even Exchange program, which allows you to waive the certification process for a commercial driver's license if you've already held one in the military. Go ahead and scan those QR codes if you want more information about either one of those programs. It's going to take you to the DMV website. Um, DMV can definitely answer more questions about those programs, or you could give us a call. We can see how we can connect you. If you like to be outdoors, we have a fishing and hunting license that's offered at a reduced price to our veterans that have a 50% or higher disability rating. There's also a state park pass that's out there for veterans also with a disability rating that's 50% or higher. This state park pass allows you to get into those state parks for free. Uh, more tax programs out there for veterans with disabilities. Tax exemption, property tax exemption program, the business license tax a few exemptions. For the disabled veteran property tax exemption, we definitely recommend you speak to your local county tax assessor. These eligibility requirements for these programs do differ across the state. So that's why we recommend you speak to those individuals. You can find your local county tax assessor on the Board of Equalization's website. Right. So for our veterans that want to start their own business, we do have a DVBE program, the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Program. This is for those individuals that want to sell goods to the state. It just makes it easier to compete for those contract dollars. About 10 different agencies here in the state have a DVBE first policy. So they're going to be looking at veteran-owned businesses first before looking at any other businesses. And yeah, 3% solicitation goal. So basically, 10 DVB first, and about 3% of all contract dollars are going to be going to those DVB programs or businesses. All right, home loans, home loan program that's different than the federal VA home loan program. This is something that makes it easier for veterans to get into a home here in California. It provides financing for veterans, competitive market interest rates, low or no down payments, and you must reside in the home. So for more questions about this, I'm going to have my colleague Jana put Brad Pedersen's contact information and also the Home Loan Division's website into the chat. He's going to be a great resource to have if you're in the market right now. He can answer those questions about the program and also get you connected with other resources outside of the state and the federal government. So for the next couple of slides, we're going to be talking about our different divisions that are offered through Calvet. We have a Women Veterans Division that provides information, advocacy, outreach, and support. By clicking on or by scanning that QR code, you are going to be adding yourself to the Women Veterans roster, which just kind of keeps you connected to the outreach opportunities that are happening with the division and lets you know about the updates that are going on with specific women veteran situations. This is our website. Again, you can check it out. Reach out to them at calvet.ca.gov, or you give them a call at that 916 number. This is also where you can go to sign up for that roster. Our Minority and Underrepresented Veterans Division is another one that offers information, advocacy, outreach, and support. They also help unnaturalized veterans with citizenship and naturalization services. Scanning that QR code is going to take you also to a web page where you can sign up for their roster. Again, just to be aware of those outreach opportunities and any kind of services or resources that need to be presented. This is their website. Feel free to check it out. Again, their email address is minorityveterans@calvet.ca.gov. They also have a 916 number you can reach out to. Calvet Homes for long-term care, 8 different homes in California that offer different levels of care to our elderly veterans. Depending on what home you are looking to get into is going to dictate what services you're looking to is going to dictate what home you go into. So if you look, we have homes all the way up in Redding, all the way down to Chula Vista in San Diego. And each home offers independent living, intermediate nursing care, memory care, outpatient clinic, residential care, assisted living, skilled nursing care. So each home is going to offer a different level of care for those veterans that are looking for that. Admissions requirements, just a quick snapshot of what they're going to be looking for. 55 years or older, served in the military and honorably discharged. Must have a type of health insurance, able to live with and get along with other people in a structured communal environment. So they are going to be looking at your income and taking at least 50 to 70% of your income for the housing. And again, that's based off of the kind of care that you're looking for. So the different levels of care are going to be required different levels of income. If you have any questions about any of those requirements, or you want to set up an appointment to view any of those houses, you could definitely give them a call and set that up. They do provide viewings and can answer those questions. Calvet cemeteries, there are 4 different cemeteries that are different than the federal VA cemeteries. There's one up in Yountville, which is up north. They have a Central Coast Cemetery, which is right outside of Monterey. A Northern California Veteran Cemetery, which is in Redding. And then they have a Southern California Veteran Cemetery that's not actually open just yet, but it's going to be in Orange County. So just be aware that we will have 4 different state cemeteries here in California. These are your federal VA cemeteries. Sacramento Valley National Cemetery is in Dixon. They have the Miramar National Cemetery, Bakersfield National Cemetery, Riverside, and San Joaquin National Cemetery. Some burial benefits that you get for your time in service: opening and closing graves, government funding, care of gravesite. Burial flags is one that we get a lot of questions on. If you're curious about any of these benefits, you can definitely talk with your county veteran service office. Those veteran service representatives can get you set up to make sure that all this is taken care of beforehand in case any surprises happen. So if you are curious and you want to stay in touch with CalTAP and want to know more about what we do and how we work with the veterans across the state, you can always provide your non-DoD email address to caltap@calvet.ca.gov. This inbox is monitored daily. When we get your information, we'll put you on a mailing list that sends out weekly. It's going to tell you about the different webinars that we have coming up and the different service providers that we're working with throughout the month. You can also register at MyCalvet. Just kind of tailors that information on our website to more of what you're looking for. Find out our social media pages, attend our webinars, and we also have a survey that you could fill out. So this survey is not necessary, but it does help us with the program, and it helps us work on things that we need to work on and lets us know what we're doing great on. So if you can, take the time to fill it out and just let us know what we did today. All right, I'm going to bring your attention now to the local interagency network coordinators. We would usually have one of our links on to talk about this right now, but I'm gonna be the one telling you guys a little bit about what they do. So we do have 8 different links in the state. They are individuals that are familiar with programs and services that are outside of the federal and state Veterans Affairs. Right now we have 2 vacancies. So our Northern Valley link is vacant, and our Bay Area link is vacant, but you could definitely reach out to those surrounding links to find out more information about what's out there for you. So if you are in the Northern Valley or Bay Area, you could always reach out to Calvin Angel in the Central Coast, or Annette Walliver, who's in the Central Valley. They should be able to help you out. Merlene also is a good resource. So what do? They provide outreach to service members, veterans, and families. They make referrals and work directly with established service providers and networks. They assist with local emergencies, and they provide leadership and advocacy to local communities. So an example I like to give is a couple years ago up north, we had the Paradise fires that took out a lot of Chico and the surrounding areas. And our Northern Valley link at that time was there every single day, making sure that the veterans were, taken care of. If they had a home loan, they were connected them to representatives who could help them out with insurance questions, and just made sure that everything was good to go. So they're kind of like the boots on the ground for local emergencies. You can find them in your Veterans Resource Center on campus. They have connections with the county veteran service offices as well. So definitely reach out to them if you have any questions. Um, they take cold calls, so obviously during business hours, but if it's an emergency, I'm sure they'll answer. But yeah, reach out and see how they can help you out. Again, this is what they connect you to: employment training. With They have connections with EDD and American Job Centers of California, connections in the County Veteran Service Office, CalVet, obviously, and then also they could get you connected with the VA healthcare system. Again, this is the list of links here in California. Bay Area, Northern California links are vacant. If you're looking for a job, those postings will be up soon as well. But if you have questions about, services outside of the state or federal government, you can always reach out to any of those other links and they can help you out as well. All right, that's my contact information. If you have any questions about what I just discussed, I know it was a lot of information. Feel free to reach out. If I can't answer those questions, I could definitely get you connected to somebody who can. So with that, I'm going to go ahead now and move it on to the questions and answers portion. All the contact information for the speakers as well as Jana is here. So I'm going to bring Jana on now to see if there's any questions and help facilitate this part of the webinar.
We don't have any questions at all, but I've been putting all the links of all the different divisions and all the different web pages that you've been talking about in the chat section. So I'll let you know if something comes up, but I'll take it back over to you.
Great, sounds good. Well, if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Feel free to throw some questions into the Q&A within these last couple slides if you do have them. But this is going to be a QR code that you could sign or scan to check out our upcoming webinars. So if you are curious about, who we're working with next or what we're going to be talking about next, you can check out our contact page and register for those webinars right there. It doesn't look like any questions have come in. So with that, I want to thank Rena again for helping us out with this event. Thanks STEP for giving us this information, very important information. And I want to thank you all for being here again today. That's the contact information for CalVet. That CalTAP inbox is always monitored. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. With that being said, I want to say thank you again, and we'll see you at the next one.